Hello guys, Sue Jerry speaking. Welcome to Bedtime Stories, episode 41, the return of Bedtime Stories. And this is a Christmas episode of Bedtime Stories. And today we're going to read you The Christmas Tree That Grew. So let's read it now. So we got, shall we? So we got. Posted back in months ago, okay. Christmas Tree That Grew by Phyllis. I can't pronounce her last name, sorry. Krasilowski. Okay, how to pronounce her last name. Sorry. Illustrated by Kathy Wilburn. Okay. See that right here? I can't see it. Okay. That purse $3. Okay, how do I say that? Margaret and Pierre Adam were sister and brother. Margaret has straight hair and bangs. Okay? And Pierre has curly hair. Okay? Mine, okay? Pierre often has his nose in the book. Margaret, excuse me, like to be active. They lived with their mother and father in the tiny apartment in a small, narrow house in the city. There were neighbors in the building, but the people who lived there didn't know each other very well. They lived in separate floors, okay? The Adam family lived on the first floor, which was lucky. They didn't have to climb too many steps. An old lady named Mrs. Manning lived on the second floor, and Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. Martinez and their baby daughter lived on the third floor. And that was cute. Okay, that makes more sense now. So that was neighbors, Mr. Rogers style. They live in different houses. So, would it make sense if they show the house just like mine in a different place in 2023? Like, say, for example, live in separate houses. So that made more sense. But anyway, next page. Every year, Mr. Adam brought home a Christmas tree. The tree took a lot of room. Okay? The Adam family had to move the furniture around it so it could fit in the living room. And didn't mind they loved having a Christmas tree. They enjoyed decorating it. They have a red candy cane. They hung red candy cane. Excuse me, I misspoke. But anyway. Little toys and bought colored balls all on it, okay? Makes more sense, okay? Mr. Adams strung up red and green, blue, and orange lights. The lights turn on and off like magic. It made the living room look very special, okay? The next page looks different, okay? And it looks like the same thing. So, there you go. One year, when the Adam family was planning to move to a new house in the country after Christmas, Mr. Adam brought home a live tree. Okay? Its roots were tied up in the big ball of burlap. They had to put in the big tub and water it to keep it alive. Okay. Mr. Adams said they would plant it into their new garden. Okay. They decorated the tree to look like all the other and hovers and hid the burlap covered the roots and red mist material. Okay. The tree looked beautiful and it smelled as fresh as a pine forest. They imagined how nice it would be when it was covered with snow. And when the birds come to sit on its branches in its garden on their new home. Okay. looks like a bird nest. Difference in the second part of the page. But the first part of the page, why is it going to suddenly move after all this happened? I don't get it. Okay? Every morning, before the children went to school, they turns wiring it, okay? And it was nice having their live tree because it was Christmas lasts longer, okay? One morning when Margaret went to water the tree, she noticed that it seemed bigger. Wow. When she told her family that they all went to see, no, they said she was only imagining it, okay? When Peter went to water the tree, he too thought he had grown. Mr. and Mrs. Adam just laughed at the idea. It wasn't funny, guys. But Margaret agreed with Peter that I've gotten taller. Anyway, after that, the children watched the tree very carefully. Okay. By the end of the week, even Mr. and Mrs. Adam had to agree that it was taller. The decorations were not as close together as they had been before, so the family wanted to keep the tree alive, so they kept wiring it. Hang on. That was part of the next page. When you suddenly see the wiring going on the second page of the book, part of the book, you know it's too much to grow, and you suddenly think it just had to grow like too big in a part of the mountains. Okay, I can see that going. Next page. In a few days, the star at the top touches the ceiling. Nah. Mr. Adam went to see Mr. Manny, who lived in the second floor. He told what has happened. Will you mind if I make a small hole in your floor so the tree can keep growing? I could patch up before we move. Man, because Mrs. Mann lived alone and had trouble carrying heavy things on the stairs, she missed being able to have a tree. She said she would be delighted to help. And yeah, because if it's not hard enough to get moved, why not just, well, yeah, I don't know, do it outside instead of inside? I mean, sure, because you see, the book was not the Christmas tree that grew, and you suddenly think that this isn't, it's too big to figure out if it's a big Christmas tree or not. You know what I mean? That's just me. Anyway, the tree grew right through the ceiling. Oh, God. Anyway, into Mrs. Banning's apartment. And every day got bigger when the branches came up in their ways. Mrs. Manning took down the decorations she had saved for years. Mrs. Manning, I know what you're thinking, but if you watch this Bedtime Stories episode right now, I know what you're thinking. But I did purchase this book. Why did you have to cut it all out for no reason? Yeah, I'm not being criticized, or I'm not trying to be harsh, but I'm criticizing this book. Is why? Okay, moving on. Our closet shelf. Okay, moving on. She had to put them away for her children moved away, and her husband died. Now she was happy to use them again. She hung up some wooden angels and curved shelves. It made her happy to remember past Christmases with her family. She invited Margaret and Peter to come upstairs and see how it looked. Now, this is not very interesting to finish this book. Now, they had to take turns, and when you suddenly think it was growing, you're not going to have a good Christmas this year in this book. Anyway, yeah. Not trying to be harsh, but that's just me. Anyway. It's beautiful, they said. It's just like a separate tree. No, it's not. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk in style. Anyway. Mrs. Mann baked their Christmas cookies, just as she has done with her own children, okay? She gave them apples and cider to drink, and told them stories about her own other Christmases. When it was like just like a party, okay? Almost like every afternoon, they went upstairs to visit her, to see a tree, and just eat more cookies, okay? One day, when they went upstairs, they were astonished to see that the tree was touching Mrs. Mann's ceiling. Okay, that makes more sense now. She was worried because there was going to be no more room for it to grow. You know, Christmas trees are not supposed to grow. It's supposed to happen once per year to figure out what's going to happen next to do for Christmas trees rather than have a garden, you know? And then that's just me. See what you just done to Mrs. Mann's apartment now, kids? That's just me. I'm not doing simple. It's not really a boring jokes or a racist jokes episode. It's more of a bedtime stories episode for me. Sorry. Anyway, Mr. asked Mrs. Martinez if he might drill the hole in the third floor living room. Ugh. Anyway, Mr. Martinez has lost his job as a carpenter, so he didn't have the money to buy a tree. Mr. Martinez was happy to help. Mr. Adams drilled a nice, even circle in the floor. Mr. Adams was very impressed with how neatly Mr. Martinez worked. He asked him if he would like to build a bookcase for the Adams family in a new house. That makes more sense now. Mr. Martinez was glad to have some work. He went to Mr. Adams to the new house and take measurements. Okay, this is making more sense now, and the 3-part house doesn't. You know, taking a Christmas tree and making it to grow does not. Okay, and what I said early in the bedtime stories episode make more sense to have it big enough for the hotel, really, but not Christmas tree. Seriously, to grow, you know. That's just me. Anyway, moving on. Mr. Martinez and Edric watched the tree grow in their apartment. Mr. Martinez made popcorn necklaces and stole them in the branches as they come through the floor. When the tree got higher, she had balls of bright colored knitting yarn and painted nuts and hung on the beds of red ribbon. When Margaret and Peter went upstairs to see it, they were thrilled. Mr. Martinez offered to left with popcorn and nuts. They ate happily and played with her baby. Wow, it's just good enough. And the baby growled and laughed and all the attention. So that was Christmas, alright? The other pages was good, and it was all catchy, but otherwise, it was good, but to take care of the baby, but that's just me. Move on to our next page. Anyway, almost every day the children went down to Mr. Manning's and the Martinez family, and they have become very good friends because of the tree. Okay, you get a good point. Okay, the day before Christmas, it snowed so hard that no one could go outside. Mr. and Mrs. Adam invited Mrs. Manning and the Martinez family to the Christmas dinner. And I thought it was a good idea. Anyway, one nice they could have, time they have, okay? They were just like the one big family. The bright lights on the tree made the Martinez baby laugh. Oh, that's a good idea. After dinner they sang Christmas songs. Why? Twisted Christmas, everybody? Move on. They all went upstairs. First to Mr. Manning's, and then to the Martinez apartment, and then put out the tree once again. And it's all thanks to Santa Claus. Just like Twice the Night Before Christmas did, whenever my family comes around and my dad plays Twice the Night Before Christmas, the Boweries is playing, and that's just me. We're going to do that in the 34th episode. That's just me. Let's move on to the last three pages. So anyway. A few days later, the Adams family moved to their country house, okay? And took the tree down and brought it in with them, okay? Mr. Martinez patched up the two ceilings and helped load the new bookcases he had built, okay? He was happy because Mr. helped him and find a new job in the furniture store. That is good. Anyway, Mr. Adam planted the tree in the hole and have dug in the garden. It looks so beautiful. Two carpenters came to sit on the branch almost there immediately. That's good. One Sunday, Mrs. Manning and the Martinez family came to visit the Adams family in our new house. That's good. They brought presents. Mrs. Manning and made balls and the suits, rolled in the pumpkin seeds to hang on the crisp tree branch for the birds. Good. Mr. Martinez has built a fine bird feeding station and a birdhouse. These are the thank you to sharing their Christmas tree with us, they said. It was a good book. You know, when I saw this is a great Christmas tree. I think they grow the Christmas tree. Whenever they got a chance to do it, it was the best idea ever. You know, that's just me. Last page. Mrs. Adams said, "Thank you. You must come for Christmas dinner next year to share the tree again. After all, it's just us new friends. Margaret and Peter just being with happiness." And yeah. And let me show you the last page of the book, and we're gonna finish off bedtime stories right there, okay? See here, it was there, so there you go. I'm gonna show you the last page of the book, but only for the pages showing, zoom in, something like that. But that's just me. So that was the Christmas tree that grew. What do I think about this book? It was amazing. So the back cover, I just want to show you this, and I think I'll wrap things up. But these things like Big Bird, Bert and Ernie, the Choo Choo Train, some things, Bambi, Mickey, Donald, and some other Bugs Bunny and things like that. These are amazing cartoons in the little golden book. And this book should have been a good book. It was, besides the bad stuff. And, yeah. This is what I want to know about that. And that was this, the Return of Bedtime Stories episode. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one. Excuse me. Which is going to be a new, just the story of Jesus Christ. Excuse me. Till next time, it's Joseph Bob. Peace out, baby. We're getting more bedtime stories episodes, guys, pretty soon. Till then, out. See ya.